This right here. This right here is what I live for, bro.
This kid boy, you okay?
This kid boy, you okay?
Now shall.
We say what?
That thing I say always.
Ain't nitrogen monoxide party like an angel party boy.
Ain't no party like an angel party. You already know. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Oh hell no. Just tripping. Just tripping. Just tripping.
In clipping, those.
Huh? I'm clipping that. Go crazy. There we go. D1 geeker go crazy, man. D1 geeker go crazy. What type of username is that, cuz? Nah. Say what you want. Mad good right now. Mad good right now.
Bruh?
Bot Rix has correctly joined the channel.
Shout out to my mom for making this sandwich, bro. It was mad good, bro. Mad good. Mad good right here, bro. W sandwich for real. I love this sandwich, bro. I love it. This sandwich is mad good. Gas. Wacky slush. Oh hell no. Uh, time for me to do the greatest login of all time, bro. Most insane locking of all time, man.
Hi, Leonard here. This is the lesson on analyzing science and technical texts. This lesson will teach you to cite specific textual evidence to support analysis of science and technical texts.
Type.
Reading science and technical texts isn't quite the same thing as reading fiction. They don't have characters, plots, or themes, for example. What science and technical texts lack in story, however, they more than make up for in information. Do you want to know how a rocket achieves escape velocity? There's a science text that will explain that to you. Do you want to know how to set up a new computer? I'll bet there's a technical document that can help you with that. Science and technical texts are about improving your knowledge and expertise.
Makes
Both
sense.
science and technical texts try to explain complicated ideas in simple terms.
Alright.
A science text is specifically focused on improving your understanding of topics related to science and technology. So, you might read about how glaciers move, why eclipses happen, or how photosynthesis works. Science texts try to enrich your understanding of the scientific world, but they don't necessarily expect you to do anything with that knowledge. With science texts, knowledge is its own reward. A technical text, on the other hand, is about applied knowledge. In other words, a technical text expects the knowledge it provides to be used in some way. Think of a math book, for example. That's a technical text. A math book might teach you how to do long division. What about a recipe book? Believe it or not, that's a technical text too. A recipe book might teach you to bake a cake. The goal of a technical text is to teach you something that will prove useful to you in your life. Today I'm going to talk about how to analyze science and technical texts. My hope is that learning to analyze these texts will improve their benefit to you. You ready to get started? Okay. Before we dive into the analysis, I'd like to review how to identify the purpose and claims of a text. After all, you can't very well analyze a text until you have a good idea of what it's saying. Start by identifying the topic. The topic is what the passage is about. Often, this information is right there in the title. Next, before reading for comprehension, try skimming the text. Look at the first and last sentences of each paragraph. Look for words that repeat. If a word is repeated, it might be important. What does the author seem to think is important? What does the text seem to be saying overall? The purpose of a text is what the text is trying to accomplish. So, ask yourself, what is the text trying to do? As you read for comprehension, identify any claims that the text is making. A claim is a statement that the text is making on the topic. A text could have one primary claim, several claims, or a combination. Do the claims make sense? Do they seem to be supported by the text? In the next section, we'll talk about how evidence supports an analysis. For now, just identify the claims and get a feel for what the text is trying to say overall. The better your understanding of the text, the easier it will be for you to analyze it. Let's pause here to check your learning. Try identifying the purpose and claims of a text. Read the passage. Which of the following is a claim made in the passage? This isn't the claim. Great job. That's right. This passage describes a scientific experiment. Every experiment begins with a type of claim called a hypothesis. This experiment hypothesizes that an electrode applied to the arm can relieve migraine pain better than pain-relieving drugs.
Type.
As you read a text, you may have opinions about what you're reading. If you're reading a cake recipe, you might conclude that the recipe isn't vegan. If you're reading a weather report, you might have an opinion about what the weather is like. If your opinion is based on something you read in the text, your opinion is more of an analysis. A reading analysis
Thank you for the
is
follow,
opinion
Jose.
about a text which is supported by the text.
I appreciate you, man.
So, you might say, I think this cake recipe isn't vegan because it includes butter and eggs. Or, I think it will rain tomorrow because the weather forecast says it will rain. If your opinion can be supported by something in the text, it's an analysis. The key word here is supported. You can't just use any old text and call it support. Support needs a warrant. A warrant is an explanation of how the text supports your analysis. If I say that a cake recipe isn't vegan, for example, then I need to explain why I think that. In this case, the recipe calls for butter and eggs. Those are both animal products. Vegan recipes don't use animal products. That's my warrant. The fact that the recipe includes animal products explains why the recipe isn't vegan. What about the weather forecast? That's pretty straightforward. The reader's opinion that it will rain tomorrow is supported by the weather forecast. The weather report said it would rain, and so the reader thinks it will rain. That's the warrant. The weather report supports the idea that it will rain tomorrow. If you're evaluating someone else's reading analysis, you have a few more steps to go through. First, identify the purpose and claims of the text. We just talked about that in the last lesson. You have to understand the text in order to understand the reader's response to it. Next, compare the reader's analysis with the text they offer in support of that analysis. Do you see the author's reasoning? If the support seems to fit the analysis, then the text has a warrant. Otherwise, it does not. Last but not least, judge how well the support text works as support. The evidence could have a warrant, but maybe the evidence is really weak. Or maybe the analysis needs more evidence than what the reader provided. So, that's the basics. You ready to get your hands dirty?
About big as my head, bro. This is a light snack for me, bro. This is a light snack for me, bro. This right here is a light snack for me, bro. We're gonna guess 19.
This sentence.
22.
Great job.
There we go.
In sentence 22, the passage admits that some subjects would stop using the device when it didn't seem to be providing any benefit. This suggests that the test subjects could tell the difference between the therapeutic stimulation and the placebo stimulation.
Go on.
Now it's time to show that you've learned this concept. Try some practice problems to demonstrate your understanding. There are 8 questions total, but first, I'll show you 3 questions. If you get all of the first 3 questions correct, that demonstrates to me that you understand this lesson and that you can move on. Otherwise, keep going and answer the rest of the questions. If you miss any questions, try clicking review to reinforce your learning.
Claim the passage. Greenhouse gases can be trapped in the windows. $13, $12.
I know you're...
Rust on Mars. 1323. All right. 1432. Type. Earth Day. Wind and clouds. Crazy work. I'm gonna go 3031. 1213. All right. Which one's this? Code to support life. What is this one? 13. And this one was 11.
You're doing very well. You've got all of the first 3 questions correct.
Let's go. Let's go. Uh, uh, in the paragraph, the narrator describes Henry as being fed and Chris at the gas station after station. Treated like a hero, he was so much actually believed he had within him the strength to do mighty deeds of arms. Based on what you have read, what are the dangers of such heroship, especially for a young and inexperienced person? Red badge of Crane who tells the year again. Who is down the glory of war in the passage at the return of heart and face out the face of monotonous life of a soldier at a camp. Alright, this one a little bit hard, bro. A little bit hard. I use the big words now, bro. Let's read the passage. We're gonna understand it together. Cut. A certain light-haired girl. Alright. Who wrote this passage, bro? Who wrote this passage, bro? Who wrote the passage, bro? I want to know, bro. A certain light-haired girl had a vicarious fun at his mortal spirit, but there was another darker girl. Alright. What? I want to know the thought process behind this passage, bruh. Cause like, ain't no way, bruh. Ain't no way. He had glazed. Oh my goodness, that did not age well at all, bro. Glazed at stud fuzz fastly, and he could demure demore and sad at the sight of blue and brass. Okay, I know writing when I know writing, and bro was not cooking at all here. I don't know what's going on in the first 3 sentences, bro. Who the hell made this test, bro? That's the real question. What the hell is this, bro? He had walked down the path between the rows of oaks. He had turned his head and detected a window watching his departure. As he perceived her, he suddenly began to stare through the high tree branches at the sky, and she had a good fury of and hesitant in her movement. She had changed her attitude. He had often thought of it. Crazy word. Alright, so we're just gonna start making up words now. What is ADIEU? What? We just using vowels to make words now at this point. AEIOU. ADIEU. What in the world, bro? What is this, bro? From his house, he had gone to the cemetery to aid one of his schoolmates. Oh, dang, that's the name. I feel bad for bro. They had thrilled him with wonder and admiration. He had felt the gulf down between them had swelled and calm pride. He had some of the fellows started tonight. I don't even know what this passage is even trying to like comprehend to me, bro. Are we talking spiritually? Are we talking like what's going on here, bro? Throat gripped intense throat gripping intent. What? Nah, bro. The author was tweaking when he made this, bro. Ain't no way, bro. In passage 3, the narrator describes Henry as being fed and cared at the station after stage 8, treated like a hero. Based on what you read, what are the dangers such as hero ship, especially for a young and inexperienced person? It can make a young person concerned and hard to get along with. It can make a young person unrealistic sense of he or she is capable to spare a young person with confidence will see it make it too much for that person. I'll make it this one. Young person an unrealistic sense of what he or she is capable of, for real. For real. You give somebody too much praise, too much glaze, they gonna end up clip mining themselves on a trip mine or something, bruh. And I'm gonna hold you. Alright, next. Based on the evidence inside the passage and the tables, what conclusion can you reach about the deaths by drowning? On the USA, swimming indicated that 70% of African American children, 60% of Hispanic children, and 40% of white children can't swim. Children who can't swim are more likely to drown. Nah. Somebody wrote this and didn't expect. Bro, that's just a. Why do I need the extra sentence at the end, bro? Can't swim already imposes the idea that I don't know how to swim, so I'm more likely to drown. So you're just supposed to put, therefore, children who are incapable are more likely to drown. You don't need to add more words, bro. What is this, bro? How come I'm over here teaching people how to do this stuff, bro? This sucks, bro. This sucks. Based on the evidence inside the passage and tables, what conclusion can you reach about deaths by drowning? Often spent care around toddlers need to be careful around watch families and young children should not have pool. Let's see. Increase. Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. What is the king's main argument in this speech? Hey. Shout out to Martin Luther King. That man had a dream. Shout out Martin Luther King. Shout out to Big Bro. If it wasn't for Big Bro, I wouldn't be rapping, bro. Oh nah, bro. I feel like I get I feel like I'd get whooped if I did that back then, bro. Oh hell no. Another thing we should modify: nonviolent resistor does not speak or humiliate defend opponent to win the relationship. He was an important figure. Alright. And Negro people, that's true, between justice and injustice, between the forces of light and the forces of darkness. Therefore, the victory will not be for me. 50,000 euros will be. Alright. I get it. I understand it now. The Love King refers to the sentimental and effect of love. Nonviolence defends the opponent through love rather than humiliation. Nonviolent benefits has benefits. It does not convince anyone of anything. There is time and a place for nonviolence, but there is time. But this time is not one of them. No. I'm just gonna go with B. B seems to they're all right, but I feel like B feels like it's more like that, bro. Because Martin Luther King was just pushing for nonviolence. That's pretty much it. Just a non-violent way of protest without, and if somebody does something to you, then I don't know. King argues that the center of nonviolent movement is love. Why is love at the center? Love is because love can change humanity. Love is because it lasts through bad things and good times. Love is at the center because romantic. Love is there because it gives felt purpose a sense of belonging. It's between this one and this one. It's between B and D right now. B and D. Because understanding fire. Wow. Person stand against us. How such person should make it clear about all the high sets, sentimental sort of be an effect, that sort of thing. Clear. There's also a non-violent. Sense of belonging. I mean, I never seen the word love inside this whole passage. Where's the word at? Yeah, I don't think it's here, but I'm reading all of it. Oh wait. Another basic thing of nonviolent resistance is the inner voice, the internal violence, physical violence, but also the internal spirit. There is an interest to the philosophy of love, the attitude that the way ultimately change humanity and make sure that for the people that belong and like keep love at the center of their lives. Now, people used to be asked me from the beginning, what would you mean by love? This is how it is. You tell us how people love each other and seek defeat us. These persons can stand against us. How can you love such a person and make it clear all along that love is the highest sense of sentimental sort of thing, but not even a affectionate sort of thing? Man, that's crazy word. Because it has through bad times, really good times. Yeah, I go with this one. I'll go with this one. I'll do this before 30 minutes is up, bruh. I got 33 minutes and I got 15 questions. Crazy work. Cite a one piece of evidence that gives to counter the opposing claim that nonviolent protests are ineffective. The aftermath of violence, aftermath of nonviolence recognition, creation of community. Violence brings temporary changes, whereas nonviolence brings permanent change. Some nonviolent protests are ineffective, but because they don't have love at the center. I mean, it's pretty hard to argue. Two wrongs do not make a right. I don't know. I feel like it's C. For some reason. For some odd reason, I feel like it's C. After reading King's essay, what conclusion can you draw about the best way to defeat the ultimately win over an opponent? One conclusion is that you will never win if you humiliate your opponent. One conclusion is that you'll never win or humiliate your opponent. This way is to show her opinions for how she might be different. For real. I can't lie there. Which event referred to President Roosevelt's speech occurred last? When was this made? On March 12th. Which one of our events referred to President Roosevelt's speech occurred last? Let me clutch go crazy. Bro said, let me clutch. I said, let me clutch for real.
Remember last night.
Remember last night? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
You gave me the SMG.
For real, bro. For real. For real, bro. Greatest clutch. Greatest clutch of 2025, bro. I can't even lie, bro. I can't even lie, bro. That right there. Insane work, bro. How bro managed to do it so cleanly, though, bro, is insane, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. You hit one shot. That's all it took, bro. One shot was all it took. Bro was out of there. He said skadoosh, bro. And we got that win, bro. Crazy work. Crazy work.
Sigma Boy.
Crazy work. Which one of the events referred to in President Roosevelt's speech occurred last? President Roosevelt proclaimed a bank holiday. In what way is the diagram of hydrologic cycle incomplete? Which diagram is the hydrologic cycle incomplete? Oh, crazy work. The iron does not show what occurs when there is a drought. That does not show precipitation for show where the cycle begins and ends. That does not show that water may not travel the exact path of the iron. How do plants affect water flow? which is whether this gives food carrier bodies or why does the author show a diagram of the water cycle and then admit the diagram is incomplete? Show that diagrams are helpful but not always convey complete information. Each drop of water follows a unique path through the water cycle, which it spreads. Its speed may vary. Each drop of water follows the exact path. Its speed may vary. Follows the exact path in the water cycle at the constant speed. Each follows. What does aloof mean? Like, what? What? I'm over here yawning. That's how bad it is, bro. In paragraph 5, the narrator says about
I rank up 0.
you ranked up 0, go crazy. Her face was sad and lovely, bright. Things in the bright eyes, we produce a mouth based on the passage which statement about
With one
this
L.
is not accurate. With one limb, go crazy. According to the first passage, what are the key benefits of GM foods? Appreciate those likes, bro. GM foods are higher nutritional content than non-GM foods. Based on the evidence, detailed to take a bitch.
I'm your teacher. Be a good boy.
Be a good boy, go crazy. Eating GM foods just sounds awful. The U.S. is the largest producer of GM foods. Let me see. Europe. Just straight. just destroys the entire back exhaust, but just know honestly, bro, there is like no credible
Platinum 1.
Platinum 1 go crazy. Submit test 47. Crazy word. Alright, there we go. We got 35 minutes done.
Hello, this is the lesson on determining word meanings. When you read, you'll often come across words you don't know. Word form and context can help you understand the meaning of new words. It's pretty clear, words are how we communicate. If you don't understand the words, you won't get the meaning. In any area you study, like science, medicine, or law enforcement, there'll be a lot of new words to learn. That's because you'll be learning about new ideas, and you need the right words to talk about them. Recently, I've been reading about different fields of nursing to try to decide what kind of nursing job I'd like to have. I was looking through a directory of nursing topics, but it wasn't helping me very much because I didn't understand some of the terms. Geriatric nursing? What's that? Palliative care, what does that mean? Before I could move forward, I had to learn some strategies to learn new words. Here, let me show you how I deal with words I don't know. When I come across a new word, the first thing I look at
They
is
got
the
you
word
working.
itself, the prefixes
They
and
got you
suffixes.
working. For real.
To break apart the word and figure out the meaning by looking at the parts. Look at this word, irreversible. That's a mouthful. But I can start to break it apart.
Irreversible damage
Start
to
with
my
B.
brain for it.
That's a prefix, a part of a word that goes at the beginning and changes the meaning. Prefixes and suffixes are usually short, and you should get familiar with the most common
Everybody at
ones.
school,
You might know
including
some
me,
prefixes
bruh.
like
Including
which
me.
means not, or anti, which means against.
Everybody at school,
If I
including
can't
me,
remember
bruh.
what ear means, I'll think of other words that start with ear, like irregular. I know that one. It means not regular, so ear probably means not. The next part of the word is reverse. That's a word I know. It means to go backwards, like a car can go in reverse.
Never
The
back
end
down,
of the
never give
word
up.
is a suffix, ibul. Suffixes can give you a lot of information. The suffix li can
Never
tell you
what?
an adverb.
Never
An
what?
artist means a person who does something, like a pianist plays the piano.
I can make some clips right
The
now
suffix
while I'm
able
just here
is like
on live.
able.
You know,
It
doing my
means able
GED
to
stuff.
do something.
And make some
So
clips
if
while I'm
I
doing
put
my
it
GED
together,
stuff.
it means not able to go
Never give up.
backwards.
Never
Irreversible.
what?
You can understand more words than you think by breaking
had
them
a
apart and
Jigsaw,
looking
you
at the
tripping.
prefixes and suffixes. The resources has a list of prefixes and suffixes that might help. Try using prefixes
Never
and
give up.
suffixes to understand a word. How would you break up this word?
Type.
Great job! The prefix this means not. The suffix meant. Now that you've broken apart the word displacement, what does it mean?
Oh. Movements of the way for pace. The action of pace is something.
The suffix meant. Great job! The prefix
I have no clue.
dis means not. The suffix meant
Crazy
is
work.
used for nouns and shows an
Appreciate
action
all the likes,
or
bro.
a
Appreciate
result.
those likes.
Displacement means the action of moving something so that it's not in its place. When I read a new word, I always look at the context. Context means everything that surrounds something. To look at the context of a word, look at the sentence and the paragraph, and even the whole text to see if you can understand the meaning. Take a look at this sentence. Dementia, arthritis, and falls are some of the special problems in geriatric nursing. When I wanted to understand what geriatric meant, I looked at this sentence. It gives me some clues. Geriatric nursing deals with dementia, arthritis, and falls.
For real.
You might realize that those are common problems in seniors. The next sentence reads, older patients also often deal with emotional
Bro
and
needs to
difficult
take a
problems,
break.
like losing their
Bro
eyesight
needs to take a
and
break.
being
Bro, I
unable
just
to drive.
started too. I
Ah,
just
The
started.
term older patients really confirms what I was already thinking. Geriatric must mean dealing with older people. You can look for several types of context clues. A definition, restatement, or synonym. An example like dementia, arthritis, and falls. A comparison to something similar or different, or a cause and effect relationship. Context clues can be
Demetria
very
Morris.
helpful when you're trying to understand important words. I bet you'll find that they help you a lot. Try using context to understand a new word. Based on the context of this sentence, what a great job! In cancer, pain, depression, and nausea are symptoms, not the root cause. Since palliative care treats these symptoms in a cancer patient, you can say in general that palliative care relieves symptoms.
Smart boy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Now,
I'm saying.
there are a couple
That's what I'm
more
saying,
things
bro.
to
I'm
think
smart.
about when
I'm
you're
smart.
trying to understand
It's a
new
genius
words.
under here, bro.
One
It's a
is
genius. It's a
connotation.
genius, bro.
Words have meanings, but they also are associated with feelings or ideas. Think about the words childish and youthful. They both mean like a young person, but they have different connotations. You can often figure out connotations from context. Someone might say, Josh is so childish, he has temper tantrums over nothing. The context shows that Josh is like a child in a bad way. He has temper tantrums. On the other hand, someone might say, Josh looks so youthful now that he's lost weight and cut his hair. The context seems to use youthful in a good way. Josh looks good now that he's lost weight and cut his hair. Something related to connotations is figurative language. That's when you use words in ways that aren't literal. Like you might call a car your wheels. Wheels aren't literally a car. They're just part of a car.
March
You can
11,
use
adding the
word
pump and
wheel
dump.
to mean car.
March
You can
11.
often understand
And
figurative
the
language
pump
like
and
this
dump.
from context.
Crazy word.
For example, you might read, Josh asked, how do you like my new wheels? He proudly pointed to the red Mustang in the driveway. You can tell by the fact that Josh is pointing to a red Mustang that he means car when he says wheels. If you give it a little bit of thought, you'll be able to figure out a lot of connotative and figurative meanings from the context.
Crazy word.
Choose the two best figurative, connotative, or literal meanings of the highlighted word in the sentence. Good. A heart pump. Excellent. Love is a very good work on those exercises. Now it's time to do some practice. You can show what you've learned and maybe learn even more. I have 8 questions that you can answer. But you know, I think if you can answer the first 3 correct, it shows you really understand. Then you can go on to the next lesson. Or if you get some wrong, that's okay. You'll just go on to the next questions. If you have any trouble, use the review buttons to improve your learning.
Let's get it. Base the parts of the word reemployment. The act of being hired again. Stunning. Attracted to the viewer. Very beautiful. What? What? Didn't have a inking. The surprise ended before the 15 minutes. Hint or clue. There we go.
Very good.
Immovable.
The goat.
The goat go crazy, bruh. She was listless, hardly moving at all, not saying a word, lacking energy. The house was an oven. Uncomfortable. Bruh. As a pretext, what he had to work Saturday and then went to movies and the party. Excuse or false reason. Cheap, inexpensive, low quality.
Did you
Be hired again. Attracted to viewer, very beautiful. Hints or clue.
excellent?
Go on. Not moving.
Waiting.
Lacking energy. Oven. Hot place. Now, I swear to God. Cheap. So, low quality. And inexpensive.
Nice job. Your score is really good.
They changed the answer right after I clicked the correct answer, bro.
Since you
This is
got
stuff that
it wrong,
pisses me
You
off.
have an opportunity to learn.
I don't want to learn for these people. Get out.
This unit will build your workplace skills. Let's take a look at how it's useful on the job. Hello, I'm Leonard. Bicycle technicians fix bicycles. How would you use information to
Nah,
buy it?
they don't fix
Well,
bicycles.
of course, any kind of repair work means reading manuals.
They fix
You need to
airplanes,
what
bro.
you read and understand the implications. It's true that a bicycle manual can be straightforward, but making inferences includes figuring out unfamiliar terms and symbols. And take a look at this note that I found in a bicycle service manual.
They make electricity.
Note: your machine may not match the image. For reference only. Manuals are often used for more than one model of similar bikes, and you'll need to make inferences to apply what you see in a diagram to the particular bike you're working on. Building your skills for drawing inferences will help you with all kinds of job-related tasks. There are all kinds of sales jobs, and one
They
that
make
has
electricity.
growth is pest control sales. In this job,
Oh my
you can
God,
help
that's funny
customers
as
get the
hell, man.
services they need to get rid of bugs, mice, or other pests. Your reading skills are important in any kind of sales, especially a technical sales job like pest control. You'll need to understand different types of pests and different kinds of treatments. That means reading and understanding texts. Your inference skills will help you figure out the meaning of technical terms and symbols, and also draw conclusions about when to use specific pest control systems. You might also use your inference skills when you're not reading. You will need to look at evidence of pests in the customer's house and make inferences to find out what services they need. Animal trainers work in several types of fields. They might train guide dogs to help the blind, or they might train horses for riding. They might work with household pets to solve training problems. Their work involves incorporating research with their ability to connect and communicate with animals. Reading and understanding research involves making inferences and evaluating conclusions. And when a dog owner brings their pet to a trainer because of the dog's behavior problems at home, the trainer needs to make inferences about the dog's problems and the relationship between the dog and the owner. Fitness trainers need to keep up with the latest fitness trends by reading publications and articles. Fitness involves understanding exercise and diet, and there is constantly new information about both. However, fitness trainers need to read critically. That means making inferences. What conclusions can you draw from the writer's evidence? Are the writer's conclusions convincing? Does the writer have good evidence to support their ideas?
That's so weird.
Your skills with inferences will help you expand your knowledge and apply what you read.
Tight.
Safety and health is the #1 priority of a hazardous waste technician. The job involves cleaning up dangerous waste like oil, fuel, or contaminated soil. Learning inference skills will help you build your critical thinking and reading skills for the job. You'll need to learn to properly handle different types of waste, including learning new technologies that you'll use on the job.
For real.
Your inference skills will help you understand and apply what you read. You can even apply your inference skills to non-reading tasks, like drawing conclusions about the waste at a job site or evaluating data about hazardous materials. Inference skills will help you
Unlock
understand
me.
and make decisions based on all types of information in the workplace. A plumber works on water pipes and gas lines. Ask any homeowner, a good plumber is worth a lot. How does a plumber use inference skills? Well, reading and understanding technical information helps. You'll need to learn how to use equipment and understand
Get out of
regulations.
my work clothes.
That
bruh.
means being able to make inferences, including inferring meanings of technical terms and symbols. You'll also make
Let me
inferences
get
on
out
the
of my
job.
work clothes.
You might need to infer where a clog is,
Let me
based
get out
on
my
the
work
evidence
clothes
you
real
see,
quick.
for example. You might need to infer where a clog is, based on... Now that you've learned a bit about how this unit can help
Get
build
out of
your
my work
workplace
clothes,
skills,
but-
it's time to study and learn. As you take the lessons in this unit,
Crazy work. Alright, let me go change my clothes. Let me change my pants. I want to change my pants. I can't, bro. I can't. I have any pants here? I don't want no jeans. There we go. I found them, bro. I found them. I found them. There we go. There we go. Crazy work. Crazy work. Crazy work.
I sent you 3 messages.
3 messages. I sent you 3 messages. Alright, give me 1 sec. Let me put on the jacket.
On TikTok.
On TikTok? Bruh. Track me. Alright, there we go. It's cold, bruh. It's cold. It's cold today. It's very cold today. It's very cold today. Very cold, I'll tell you that. It's still at 35 minutes. Crazy work.
Hello. This is the lesson on making inferences. Sometimes you need to read between the lines. You need to make inferences about what you read based on what you know. You know, just understanding the words when you read only gives you part of the picture. Sometimes you need to make assumptions that aren't stated right up front. Sometimes the writer suggests something but doesn't just come right out and say it. That's when you make an inference. It's something that you can tell is true based on a suggestion or evidence in what you read. The other day, I was reading about the Head Start program. Roberto was in Head Start when he was younger, and a friend of mine was asking about it. She just found out she was pregnant, and we were talking about childcare.
Crazy
I
work.
realized that it had been a while, and my friend is in a different area, so I wanted to find out more about what Head Start is like now. Once I started reading, I realized that I had to make inferences about the information. There were some things the writer meant but didn't say straight out. Let me show you what I mean. Making an inference is really very simple. You see, when you read something, you take information that you read and add it to information that you know.
1.0K, you're welcome.
Implied, but not really
1K
stated
likes. You're
directly. That's an
lying.
inference. Take a look at this picture. What you see is a dog, and it's holding a leash in its mouth. Those are the things you can see, things that the picture states directly. Now, what can you infer? You need to add information that you know, and then make an inference. What does the dog want? If you know anything about dogs, you can probably infer that it wants a walk. Where is the dog? Probably inside, right? It got its leash from somewhere, and that's probably inside the house. Notice that the leash isn't attached to the collar, so it looks like the dog just picked it up. Plus, if a dog is begging for a walk, it's probably inside. Who is the dog looking at, do you think? Probably its owner, because that's who would walk it. So you can make a lot of inferences from this picture. You can do the same thing when you read. Take information you read, add information that you know, then make an inference. Here's the information I was reading about Head Start. What inference could you make about differences between Head Start programs? The passage mentions... Read the passage. Great job! The passage says that 17,000 local agencies provide Head Start programs. You can make a lot of types of inferences. One thing you can make inferences about is relationships. Often a writer will point out relationships like cause and effect, similarities or contrasts. But sometimes a writer will only imply the relationships between things. Just like with an inference, you need to look at the evidence in the text. Then you need to think about what you know. Then you can figure out the implied relationship. Take a look at this paragraph. There's a lot that's implied and not stated right out. Look at the evidence. The lock was broken. The door was open. The TV was missing. What's the implication? Think about what you know and all the reasons a TV might be gone. You can infer that the
Fortnite,
TV was
go
stolen,
crazy.
since someone would break a lock to steal from a house. There's more though. Josh pulled out his phone. Why? What's the cause? Well, if his TV is stolen, he's probably calling the police. It doesn't say that Josh pulled out his phone because his TV was gone, but you can infer the relationship. You need to decide the logical relationship.
He probably recorded that to put it on World Star, bruh. World Star, World Star.
Okay, what can you infer about the relationship between health and school readiness?
Health and school readiness promotes.
911, what's your emergency?
My name is Billie Jean. Here's an example of health. School readiness promotes health. School health contacts with school readiness. School readiness exam. Contracts. School readiness.
Okay.
There isn't an implied. Great job. The passage. Very good work on
My
these
name is
exercises.
Jeff.
Now it's time to do some practice. You can show what you've learned and maybe learn even more. I have 8 questions that you can answer. But you know, I think if you can answer the first 3 correct, it shows you really understand. Then you can go on to the next lesson. Or if you get some wrong, that's okay. You'll just go on to the next questions. If you have any trouble, use the review buttons to improve your learning.
For real. Based on the passage, when did India and Asia stop pushing into each other? Never, they still are. Too many years still located. The Himalayas continues to rise 1 centimeter a year. The Gulf rate 10 kilometers in a million years. Based on it, when did it stop pushing each other? 40 to 50 million years ago. Never. They still are. Crazy work. I knew it. I knew it. Based on the passage which determines the plate is submerged over another. Rock density, go crazy. Read the passage. What can you infer about the time and deployment of Earth? I'll say 225 million.
You might not have.
Just like Sky Night. Very fast. 1 a.m. These services. A lot of diversity. Never, they still are. Rock density. And human time.
Excellent. You got the first 3 questions all correct. That shows me that.
Crazy work. 46.
Hi. This lesson is on inferences about main ideas. Often a main idea isn't stated directly. This lesson will show you how to infer what the main idea is and make inferences about support. I remember Dwayne coming to me with something he was reading. It was an article about what you can do to protect yourself as a consumer. And he said, "Where's the topic sentence in this paragraph? Where is the thesis statement in this article? I just don't get it." Maybe Dwayne's right and those things just don't apply to real life. Well, maybe you feel like that too. When you're reading something online on the newspaper, the writer doesn't follow a template. Paragraphs don't always have topic sentences. Writers don't always state their main idea in a sentence. But that doesn't mean there's no main idea, or that finding the main idea won't help you understand. You just need another reading tool to understand the writer's main point. Inference. Here, let me show you what I showed Dwayne. Let's talk about articles like Dwayne's, where you need to infer the main idea. In real-world writing, the author doesn't always give you the main idea of a paragraph or an article. So here's how to find it. First, read the passage and identify the details and supporting ideas. What does the writer say? Second, ask what the details have in common. How do the supporting ideas fit together? Third, write a sentence that gives a big picture of what the writer's saying. Make sure it fits the writer's tone or attitude. Finally, review. Does your main idea give a summary of what you read? Do the details support this idea? Let's try it. Here's a paragraph of text. First, identify the details. There are a lot of details in this paragraph. Be on time, dress well, remember to smile, be prepared to answer questions, have questions to ask, bring a resume, and be confident. Okay, now, what do these details have in common? They all give advice about what to do for job interviews. How would you tie them all together? I might write a main idea like this. Here's some advice to be prepared and professional on a job interview. It's like I'm writing my own topic sentence, right? Now review. Does it fit with all the details? Does it fit the writer's tone? Is this really what the writer is trying to say? I think it passes the test. Is it similar to a topic sentence you would write? I'm sure that you can use this strategy to identify a main idea. Which choice is the best main idea for the paragraph in the passage?
Most companies will refund your pizza out, but sometimes they won't.
Companies giving you a refund. Great job. The paragraph gives you several. Now, sometimes you'll need to make inferences about the support in what you read. Support means the details that tell more about the main idea or give evidence or reasons to prove a claim. You might need to infer how an idea relates to the main idea, or you might make an inference about missing information. You can also make inferences about how strong or convincing the support is. Here's an example. Let's say I make the claim that houses should use gray water from sinks, showers, and tubs for the toilets. Gray water is a name for the relatively clean water that you've already used for something else. It's pretty much all the water you use except for toilet water. Now, let's say I make this statement in support of my claim. Using gray water for toilets doesn't cause any inconvenience, such as avoiding soaps that cause harm to plants. What inferences can you make? First, how is the support related to the claim? That's an important inference. The support says that using gray water for toilets isn't inconvenient. That supports the claim, because if it was inconvenient, people wouldn't want to do it. Maybe they'd even make mistakes, like using the wrong soap. It's countering a possible argument against the claim that using gray water could be inconvenient. What other inferences can I make? Look carefully at the different things mentioned in the sentence. Why would you think using gray water was inconvenient? The sentence gives you an example of an inconvenience, avoiding soaps that cause harm to plants. Why does the author give
I'm
that
trying to
example?
solve this, but I don't know.
The writer says that it's a possible way that using gray water.
So I'm
is
trying to
inconvenient.
solve this, but I don't know.
Why would you need
What
to
do you
stop
mean?
using soaps that harm plants? Well, if you were using gray water for plants, you wouldn't want to put anything in the water that would hurt them. So, you can infer that one use of gray water is to water plants. Making inferences means looking closely at what you read, making connections to the main idea, and making connections to your own experience. It helps you analyze which is the best inference you can make from the highlighted support in the passage. The author is only
When does it end?
the author states that insulin was
When does it end?
the author states
There is no end.
great job.
It just keeps
The
on
writer
going
says that
on
because
and
animal testing
on
was
and
used to discover
on
insulin,
and
animal
on
testing is good for society.
and on, bro.
If, without animal testing, insulin would have been discovered in some other way, that argument isn't as valid. The author's statement implies that insulin wouldn't have been discovered in another way, at least not as quickly. Do you think that implication is true? Now it's time to show that you've learned this concept. Try some practice problems to demonstrate your understanding. There are 8 questions total, but first, I'll show you 3 questions. If you get all of the first 3 questions correct, that demonstrates to me that you understand this lesson and that you can move on. Otherwise, keep going and answer the rest of the questions. If you miss any questions, try clicking review to reinforce your learning.
Bruh.
I know your score wasn't.
When does it end, bruh? I gotta keep doing it. There's no break. Effective as just an animals. Emergency 911 call. Alternative animal testing. Soil or water contaminated with bacteria are effective.
Did this lesson?
Should not be allowed. Alternatives is
I
important.
know your score wasn't very.
Somebody call 911. Call 911. But not for me, though.
Did this? Nice job.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
Somebody
dun,
call
dun.
911, but not for me get out.
Somebody call 911. Somebody call 911. But not for me, though.
Did this Great job. You've grasped the concepts in this lesson. Take a moment to think about what you've learned and about the couple of mistakes you've made. Were you rushing through? Did you
possibly several local ordinances.
Thanks for having me, Damien. After 3 years of night shifts at the Galactic Museum of Unnatural History.
Hey, are you ready to start learning about evidence for inferences? Finding and evaluating evidence for inferences is an important skill. It's how you show whether the inference is valid. Does the text support it?
Yes.
When making an inference about something, it needs to be backed up with evidence. Pretty straightforward, right? Where in the text did you get that idea? The better you are at finding evidence, the better your reading and analysis skills will be. Evidence is a big deal because you're making a leap in logic when you're making an inference, whether it's a big inference or a small one. And you want to know whether you're right. Like, one of the kids in my neighborhood had cancer when he was about 10. That was pretty tough on his folks.
P. Diddy.
They were visiting
Get out!
His dad thought they had to go to a different doctor.
Oh, no.
His mom thought that it was ridiculous. She didn't want to change doctors. Well, they got out the pamphlets they were reading and started looking at it. They were looking for evidence. Who was right? Did they need a different doctor? His dad had made an inference, and now he had to prove it.
Bro, what is the internet, bro? What is the internet,
You might make
bro?
an inference from one sentence or paragraph. You might make an inference about
This
a
is
whole
live
text
right now.
as a hypothesis, just like in science. It's something you think is true.
This is
but you
live right
haven't
now, bro.
completely proven it.
Yes, they need a new doctor.
So how do you prove your inference? Just like in science, you need to look for evidence. Where's the evidence in the text that shows it's true? I remember Dwayne reading Frankenstein for class. He was into it because he liked all the Frankenstein movies and stuff. See, we were learning about romantic heroes, which is a kind
Crazy
of character
word.
in literature. And Mr. Williams, he was telling us about how Dr. Frankenstein, the guy who built the monster, was a romantic hero. He's worrying, dark, and
Pickle from
emotional.
Fortnite.
He's outside of society, doing his own thing. And he's trying to do something big.
Pickle from
something
Fortnite.
great. All
For
excited. He tells us that the monster is a romantic hero too. And he gives us some quotes. Like the monster says, "Hateful day when I receive life. I exclaim in agony. Accursed creator, why did you form a monster so hideous that even you turn from me in disgust?" That's pretty dark and emotional. And then he gave another quote. "Am I not shunned and hated by all mankind? You, my creator, would tear me to pieces and triumph. Remember that, and tell me why I should pity man more than he pities me." No one's more of an outsider than the monster that everyone hates. And then Dwayne said the monster wanted to be human. And that's a pretty great big order for a monster Dr. Frankenstein describes as having yellow skin scarcely covering the work of muscles and arteries beneath. The monster's ugliness made it nearly impossible for him to be treated as human. Dwayne's point was pretty convincing. Why? He gave evidence from the book. That's sort of the whole point. Say what you think is true, and then say why. Show the evidence in what you read. Okay, now take a look at that pamphlet about kids who finished their cancer treatments. Which highlighted sentences are the
Why?
why?
best evidence?
Because
Great
D.
job.
That's
This
why.
sentence is for the inference
And because
that
of
should
D.
sentence
No,
talks about
no, no,
that
C.
sentence
There we
says
go.
you-
That's why.
Sometimes a writer
That's
leaves
why.
sentences
There we go.
uncertain.
That's why.
One way things can be uncertain is if there's more than one possible meaning. There's a word I want to introduce. Ambiguous. Something is ambiguous when it could be interpreted in more than one way. If you can figure out when something's ambiguous, maybe it means one thing or maybe it means something else, you're really getting some deep understanding. Look at this example. It says, Charles often went to the park. Then it says, he went every so often. That means every once in a while. Those two sentences seem to contradict each other, right? How often does he really go to
Bro
the
got
park?
caught rushing
Maybe he
in
goes a lot, but doesn't
2025.
want to admit how often he
Bro
feels
got
lonely.
caught rushing
Or
in
maybe he doesn't
2025.
really go too often, but it feels like it's a lot. Or maybe he goes often, but only every once in a while. It's because he's lonely. Maybe later when
Be
you
a
read
good
it,
little
you'll
boy.
get more information that will help you figure it out.
Aha
Or maybe
ha.
it's something the writer leaves up to you.
Aha ha.
Okay.
Another way things can be uncertain is when information is missing. Look at this example. It's a description of mitosis, a way that cells reproduce. What's uncertain here? Well,
Mua.
there's an obvious question that's left unanswered, and that's what you want to look for. Unanswered questions. It says mitosis is one type of cell division.
Mua.
That implies that there are other types. What are they? How are they
Meow
different?
meow meow.
Just like
Meow
the
meow
other
meow.
maybe this uncertainty is explained later. Or maybe it's something you'll need to figure out on your own. Identifying uncertainty helps you ask questions and understand more. It helps you come up with research questions, think about characters in the story, and even evaluate whether you believe a writer is on the level. Now that's a valuable skill.
Meow meow meow.
Take another look at the passage. Which of these ideas does the text leave as uncertain?
Mua.
The passage says that. Great job. The passage says, hey, good work on those exercises. Now it's time to do some practice. You can show off what you know. I've got 8 questions for you. Try the first 3. Do you think you can get them all right? If you do, I think you proved you listened, thought, and learned. And you're ready to go
P.
on
Diddy
to
run.
another lesson. If you miss a few, I'll have some more questions for you after. Oh, and if you run into trouble and get the wrong answer, try clicking review to refresh your learning.
Run.
PDD run. Run. Which hiding sentence are the best evidence for the interface of survivorship care plan contains recommendations for visits with specialists? CD, I bet that. AD.
Looks like you didn't.
CD, AD, CD, AD, CD, AD, CD, AD, CD, AD, CD, AD.
Well, hey, perfect. You got all the first 3 questions right.
There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yay.
There we go. We're at 1 hour. We gotta do 1 more hour and then we should be Gucci, bruh. We gotta do 1 more hour and then we're Gucci. I'm gonna end stream here right now real quick. Grab something to eat real quick. And I'm gonna come back and restart stream. What do you think? I'm gonna do my first video ever on a YouTube channel while we do our little wait before I do my another hour of GED testing, bro. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? First video ever. I only have old footage of me playing mobile Fortnite. We're gonna do our first video ever, bruh. This is about to get interesting. Alright, let me let me end the stream and then we're gonna post it. Alright. Alright. We're gonna do this. Let's do this, bro.
You
Let's do
did
this.
that.